So we're changing the intake manifold gasket on this 98 Grand Marquis 4.6 liter engine. Alright, so you have to take the serpentine belts off, and then we're going to have to remove the alternator. And then this piece right here, which is just a few bolts. And you pull all of that off. This, after you take the bolts out of it, pull it this way, and then out. Because you cannot remove this and then bend it, because it's a metal. So you're going to have to pull it out and it up. So that's why you gotta remove it. Just don't push from the hand. I can get it if you want me to. That was a beautiful noise.
A 10?
That's what I put on there, so.
Yeah, if you want to go behind me on this.
I was just gonna break this down.
Probably some in my truck.
There probably is some in your truck.
How many did you break off over there?
I haven't.
I gotta get this piece off. Like, how many did you break?
Like break loose?
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I gotta take that. Y'all get to see the process in real time. But we'll explain more in detail whenever we're putting it back together. So that is the part people struggle with the most. Taking it apart is pretty simple. Putting it back together is the hard part. The bolts are taken out. Got to disconnect to the Cortex. All of them. Should be 4 on both sides. It's a V8. On this side it'll be a little bit harder, but you can still see them.
Imagine we just wrong. Let's see how it.
So, got the intake manifold off, obviously. Then we took the gaskets off, and the problem is a pretty obvious problem on both of them. So, that would be our problem. It's leaking. It's leaking horribly, as you can see. And it's getting down into where the spark plugs are. Horrible. So, when you're done installing your gasket, it should look like this. Feel free to take this time to clean that. And the surfaces of this, make sure you clean the surfaces of this so that you get a good stick. Should be shiny. Don't scratch it. You can mess it up by scratching it. So just use like a plastic brush or something like that.
Be sure you don't put your try and put your gaskets on backwards. The big end goes towards the front on the driver's side, and the big end goes towards the back on the passenger side.
And it has little holding posts to keep it in place. So if that post is sticking up, then you have it on wrong. That post should be sticking down, and it'll stick into a little hole right here and right there. So if it's up, you know you did it wrong. If it's down, you're good. It should look like that when it's finished. So now you get to go through the process. Oh, so while you have it off, take your time to clean that as well. So you're usually not gonna have time to do that. So you might as well do it while it's off of the vehicle. It's gotta be off anyways, so might as well.
It's really just worth it.
Basically, so the little holder posts will hold it in place so you don't worry about moving your gasket. It's not moving.
We don't have a torque wrench, so this thing's getting sent to Ugga
That's fine.
Do not do what we do.
But yeah, don't follow us on that part. But yeah, it's just 1, 2, 3, and 4 on both sides, and then you put
Make sure
the fuel rail back on,
so you don't crack.
That's
and
what
then we go from there.
Turn your gasket.
So your intake manifold is on. Now you gotta do the fuel rail. Fuel rail plugs in to 4 holes on both sides, and it's pretty simple. You just slide it on, plug it in.
The problem with that. That's a problem.
This is one of the easier parts,
This is the plug and play part.
and then you just plug it in.
No, it's hidden.
Turn all of these
Hold on,
plug-ins
I'm putting them
towards the outside,
shit up. I gotta get this.
so you can plug yours into it. You're not supposed to be puffing the fuel.
It's getting worth it. We don't working together on this is not this much.
feel something like this, you can start getting ready to just put the last few things on. Air intake, alternator, throttle body. It's all fairly easy. Just bolt on. So when you're done, it should look something like this. Exactly like it did, but slightly cleaner when we took it apart. Now you gotta make sure to get all of your stuff plugged back in the proper way. It's various vacuum hoses and stuff all over the engine. And then do not forget to put coolant in it, because if you do, you will have some pretty severe problems. All right, so put the coolant in it. We did take the fuel rails off, so it's gonna need a little bit of, I was gonna say it's gonna need some help before it turns on. And then it'll take a second. It's gotta get coolant running through it. The fuel rails are taken off, there's no fuel in it. And there it is. And that is how you change your intake manifold gaskets.
Injector's not taking.
A successful change nonetheless. Car sounds good, all is well. All right, that's all for today.